Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talk about a team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. All right, so we knew it had to happen. When you have a guy like Pete Carroll, who is no nonsense dude, he's got a smile on his face. He's all about energy. He's all about this. He's all about competition. And when someone on his team doesn't show that he's about competition, when he's not really about getting better, when he's not really about the team, when he's not really about doing everything he can do to get back and to contribute, yeah, that's a huge problem for Pete Carroll. And I'm here for it. If the reports are true, this is a completely warranted release, and Christian Wilkins' contract will be voided. Okay, if you haven't heard yet, Christian Wilkins has been released by the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this seems to be kind of a surprise because of the talk around as far as Christian Wilkins has been in the building. He's doing everything he can. And, he's got a long process, but, we're here for him and all this stuff. And now he gets released, right? Let's just slow down, okay? Because there's a lot happening here. We're going to get to a lot of stuff, right? We're going to get into the reasons, a grievance that was filed, the contract, injuries, all this stuff. We're going to get to all that. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you do to support the channel besides doing absolutely nothing, just watching the video. Okay, got that out of the way. Okay, let's talk. So, Christian Wilkins was the big offseason free agency signing for the Raiders in 2024. First part of the season, everything looked great. He's, on the team and he's playing well. In 5 games, he's got 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 17 tackles. This guy's he's drawing a lot of attention on the defensive line. Gets injured, out the rest of the season. That was last season. Now, entering this season, now in the offseason, it was kind of strange, right? Well, Wilkins was in the boot, he was out of the boot. And we actually took a look at a couple of things. We looked at what doctors, specialists were saying and things like that. And then because of what was happening, I think a lot of people, and myself included, were just like, well, they're just kind of taking a slow approach to this to see what happens. Well, that's not necessarily the case. So the reason the Raiders released Christian Wilkins is they were basically dissatisfied with how Wilkins was handling his rehab. And basically there was no timetable, or there was no plan for his return. Just kind of like, well, we're just going to sit here and wait for it to get better type of thing. Reports are that right after both Pete Carroll and John Spytek were hired, well, opposite, Spytek, then Pete. Anyway, after they were both hired, they took a long look at what was going on with Wilkins' foot, and also, with medical personnel and all this stuff for the Raiders. And basically, they were telling Christian Wilkins, bro, you need to get your foot surgically repaired again. It's not healing properly. And Christian Wilkins didn't want to do it. Christian Wilkins said, no, I want to do rehab. I don't want to go under the knife again. And I can understand that. But if you're going to do that, you can't do this.
I got a question for you. Am I original?
All right, we're going to cut that off so we don't get popped. But, dude, if you're going to be a guy that can't participate in anything and you're not taking advantage of all the advice that the medical staff is giving you, and you're going to be out here dancing and doing all this stuff while you're not practicing, that is a bad look. Now, it was all well and good when people thought that maybe he was even, going to be ready for the season, right? Because, he's dancing, he's out of the boot, cool, right? Those were the reports. He's out of the boot, he's walking around, he's like, well, he's not practicing. And he's not listening to what the medical personnel from the Raiders are saying. So he's basically saying, I'm going to do my own thing, and whenever I get better, and you guys are going to have to deal with it. Ultimately, in a lot of cases, that's correct, because it is up to the player what he wants to do. But there is a clause in the contract that if Christian Wilkins is not doing everything he can to get back on the field, he's basically just milking it, that he can get cut, and his contract can be voided. So the Raiders confirmed this earlier today, that they released Christian Wilkins, and basically they said they gave him the designation of terminated vested veteran. Well, instead of putting words in their mouth, this is what the Raiders tweeted out today. They said, we have decided that it is the best interest of the organization to move on from Christian Wilkins, and he has been informed of his release from the team. This franchise has a commitment to excellence on and off the field with no clear path or plan for future return to play for Christian. This transaction is necessary for the entire organization to move forward and prepare for the new season. Basically, they're saying this dude is not giving us anything. This guy is like, well, I'm just going to be hurt and that's going to be that. And whenever I get better, I get better. I'm not going to listen to your advice. I'm not going to do what you recommend I do. And I'm just going to go ahead and wait until this gets better. Well, you combine that with, that video that we just saw of him goofing off and stuff. It's like, look, man, we're trying to win. When we're trying to win right now, if there's any coach out there that I trust, it's Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is not in the business of releasing talented, hardworking players. If you're a talented, hardworking player, you're going to have a spot on his team. So something tells me that these rumors are pretty close to being spot on accurate. All right. And this is really pissing me off because we just can't seem to catch a break with our free agents. The more we spend on a free agent, the worse they are and the worse luck we have with them. Of course, and I don't, begrudge Christian Wilkins from doing this, but Christian Wilkins, he filed a grievance with the NFLPA today, and he's challenging the decision to void the $35.2 million left in guarantees on his contract. If the dispute goes the Raiders' favor, then the cap hit's going to be minimized. If the dispute is upheld and Christian Wilkins wins, then the cap hits are going to be pretty major the next couple of years. Let's take a peek on that. So Christian Wilkins' deal was $84.75 million in guarantees, 57.5 fully guaranteed at signing, and an additional 27.25 became fully guaranteed March of this year. So the Raiders voided whatever was remaining on that was $35.2 million, and it's just a legal dispute that's been going on for quite some time. Now, the long and challenging process that Pete Carroll was talking about, I'm thinking he was talking about the long and challenging process for the team, not a long and challenging process for Christian Wilkins. Because if he's just showing up and rubbing his foot on a freaking tennis ball and sitting in the sauna all day and waiting for his foot to get better, that's just not going to cut it. Especially when you're in training camp and you're not good to go and you're not ready and you're not willing to budge on what you want to do and you're not willing to have surgery. Well, you know what, guy? Deuces, you're gone because we need you to have a clear plan. Wait and see is not a clear plan, especially when the wait and see is damn near a year old. That was what, 9 months ago? 9 months ago that he was injured, and he's just sitting around waiting on an 6 to 8 week recovery time. He's been gone 9 months, and he still doesn't have a clue when he's going to get back on the field, and he's doing nonsense like this and dancing around. Dude, this is crazy, man. Look. If this wasn't bad enough, let's take a look at these salary cap hits, okay? So the hit for 2025 for this season, this release results in a 2025 cap charge of 17.9, almost $18 million, basically. So we got an $18 million cap hit this season for Christian Wilkins. Whatever. Future cap hits. All right. Next season, if we lose this grievance with Christian Wilkins, next year's cap hit in 2026 is going to be $55 million. For this fool. Well, if the void does go through, right, then they're going to save $8 million this season in cap. So it's only going to be about a $10 million cap hit. And they're going to save about $25 million next season. So it's going to be only a $30 million, but it's going to be a cap hit next season as well. If Wilkins wins, he's going to get the full 35.2 over the next 2 seasons, and it's going to be a huge cap burden for the Raiders. Now, as far as right this second, it seems the Raiders have about $59 million in cap space. I think I'll have to double check that. It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense that there's professional athletes that are still out there acting this way, and ultimately, there are no preconceived notions. There are no bad feelings. There's no real history going on here between Spytek and Pete Carroll and Christian Wilkins and his people. Basically, they're coming in and saying, look, this is what our medical staff is saying. You need to do X. Let's get this done so you're ready to go. Christian Wilkins was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I just want to wait for it to chill and for it to heal. We heard a doctor say that. We heard a prominent orthopedic surgeon say that when the Jones-Frank injury doesn't heal properly, it's because there's a lack of circulation, of blood circulation going to the area. And more often than not, you would need to do a redo of the surgery to help facilitate more blood flow. So just waiting for it to heal, it's just going to be slow and slower process. It's just a bad situation all around. And ultimately, you know, Wilkins was supposed to be one of the cornerstones on the defensive line, along with Maxx, and returning Malcolm Kuntz and a surging Adam Butler. But this time, man, look, we're going to need guys like Tonka and Pegues and Leki Fotu and Luwalu. Like, we're going to need all those guys to step up, man. And even Tyree Wilson's going to be taking a lot of snaps. So that's probably why we see Tyree Wilson taking a lot of snaps on the interior. He may have looked pretty good. You know, the Raiders are probably saying, look, Tyree Wilson's looking pretty good on the inside. Maybe we just keep him and, tell Wilkins to kick rocks. It's really vital right now. And honestly, I don't see a seasoned executive like a John Spytek making this move if he wasn't pretty damn sure he was going to win, because of the information given to Wilkins, because of the lack of clarity of his return, because of all these things. It's fine if you don't want to have surgery, that's fine, but just be ready to play. If you're not having surgery and you're not ready to play and you can't tell me when you're going to get back, yeah, you're probably going to get cut. And this goes to show you all the things I was saying about Pete Carroll is true. He does not care who you are. If you're the better player, if you're the better person for the start, if you're the better person for the team, you will make the team, you will start, you will get an opportunity. There's no politics involved here. It's a total meritocracy. If you show on your merit that you should be here and you're going to play hard and you're going to be a successful contributor, you're going to be on this team. And if you're going to show that you're not going to, take it seriously and you're going to want to do your own thing and you're just kind of blase about the thing and you're not serious about getting back on the field, you're going to be gone. And Christian Wilkins, you just found out that if you're not serious about getting this done, you're going to be gone, and the Raider Nation train is already moving. All right, guys, that's my time for today. I really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do, and it's the bare minimum you do to support the channel besides doing absolutely not just watching the video. All right, guys, I'm really bummed about this, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But what you think about Christian Wilkins, this whole saga, and the release, and the possible massive cap hits? You think we're going to get him? You think we're going to win? Who knows? All right, guys, everyone, please tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world's greatest and going to Raiders today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.